A few years ago, we bought our first house in Canada. We've been there for 3 years or 2 years, about that. And today, we want to just come on here and share our experience in terms of cost of living and, just give you guys a difference what we were spending when we were renting and what we're spending now as homeowners so that you can have a mental knowledge of what to expect if you're thinking of buying a new home in Canada. And yeah, I have my lovely husband with me here. I know you guys have missed him. So we're just going to be doing this video together. He will be giving us a breakdown of our expenses as homeowners, and I'll be giving you guys a breakdown of what we were spending when we were renting. Okay, so we're just going to make the video that way. Hopefully you enjoy it. But yeah, just take our time and watch to the end because we're going to give a total and then we'll subtract. We'll give you guys a difference basically, right? So baby, let's begin.
Yeah, it's a serious matter, as you can see from my face. I'm not joking. But I mean, at the same time, it's a good thing because owning a property is not just for the comfort or for the status. You are building a feeling, and it's good. Whether you like it or not, you would have still paid for rent. You would have still taken care of expenses. Now it's more. And that's the prayer.
But don't tell them yet if it's more than wood.
Yeah, of course it's more.
Of course.
And so we all trust God for increase and for expansion. So I'm glad to be here today. It's been quite a bit.
Yes, you guys, welcome today in the comments.
Thank you.
We are happy to have him here. He's been absent for some time, but he is back and I'm very excited to have him here today. So he doesn't really need this list, so I'm just going to hold it for him. He has a mental knowledge of all these expenses, so I'm just going to hold his own for him and hold mine. But remember, he is going to be giving us our expenses as homeowners, and I'll be giving you what our expenses were as renters. Okay, so maybe should we start from the renting, or should we start from me or you?
Yeah, because when you come into a new country, you are not likely going to move into your own mortgage right away.
So makes sense.
Let's start from what it looks like as a newcomer. As you get to that point that you start, looking towards buying a house, you also need to now start planning, because one of the things that happened in our own case, I would say we did some background knowledge, accusation, we learned, we read, we spoke to people and all that. But there are things that it's when you buy the house you now begin to find out, right?
You can really not plan enough.
I mean, people, we are also better at planning. Some people are much better.
Yeah.
They plan to the to the last cent. But in our case, we just wanted to know what would the mortgage be, how much are we going to pay for mortgage, and the bill and all that. So from my experience, anyway, she doesn't want us to talk about it yet. When you're planning for mortgage, just someone told me just multiply it by 2. Yeah, that way you just know that if your mortgage is going to be 2.5, just say 5,000.
Yes.
Because the bills just some of them appear very small.
Okay.
Some of them are huge, and some of them you can do without. Some of them you can't. So you just have to. We are just trying to prepare your mind. Yes. We want you to have your own property, but while you are in the euphoria of I want to buy a house and all that, we also want you to be prepared for the reality, which is the accompanying bills.
That's basically why we're making this video, to get you ready mentally for whatever decision you want to make. The amount we're going to be saying in this video is average amounts, but of course very close, right?
Relative to the size of your property and also to your province.
Exactly.
Because I find out that you are not going to have exactly the same thing in all the provinces.
Exactly. And there are different house costs.
The cost of the house is different. The property tax is not the same. The bills are different.
Yes.
Province to province.
So also, this is peculiar to us and where we live and the province we are in, and of course the city we're in, which is Edry. Whatever we have now might be different from from someone else,
Mm-hmm.
maybe living in Calgary, right? So it just all depends on our present situation, okay? So let's get right into it. I'm going to start off. When we got to Canada, we rented a 2-bedroom apartment. So when we came in, we had a furnished 2-bedroom apartment. And at that time, we paid 1,500 for the furnished apartment. So after like a few months, I think it was 6 months after, we moved from that apartment to an unfurnished apartment, still around the same area, the same building. We just went downstairs.
No, we went to another building, the same block.
Yes, went to another building, the same block, exactly. And then it was an unfurnished apartment. That was where we were until we bought our house. And right there, we were paying 1,250 for the unfurnished apartment. So we're just going to work with 1,250. I know that rent in that area now would be about 1,500 or finished.
Oh, it's more than that.
Unfurnished right now.
Unfurnished is about 1,700, 1,000.
Oh my God! So yeah,
and
renting
it's
now
very scarce to get.
Very scarce to get. So right now in that particular apartment, we want to go back now. It would be around that 1,700 for the unfurnished.
Yeah, 1,700.
Okay, so we'll work with what we paid at the time. It was 1,250. So I think we would list our expenses right here by my side, and Julius will be at his side. Okay, so house rent 1,250.
Yeah.
So what is our mortgage now?
The mortgage, like we said, relative to the size of the property, a mortgage is about $3,000.
Yes.
Actually, we started, so I would just say this. It's not part of the content of this particular episode, but it might be useful for someone. So when we started our mortgage, it was about 2,300. But part of the learning experience, we could have opted for a fixed mortgage. Now, opting for a fixed mortgage at the onset might be a bit tight because of the cost the bank was ready to approve for us. And so if we had opted for a fixed mortgage, probably our mortgage would have been much more than 2,300. But what the wise thing to have done was, after getting a property, we could have now transferred to a fixed mortgage. But we never thought that the interest rate would just jack up the way it jacked up.
Yes, and it was immediately we bought our house like that.
So it started slightly. I spoke to a banker friend. He said, who also got a variable almost at the same time. So he was telling me something he was doing right. He just said, should give it a bit of a time, things will calm down. And bro, we just all of a sudden it just went up
and then it kept going up and up. There.
So that's how come we got to that 3,000 benchmark.
Yeah. So, but notes we're not always paying that.
Yeah. So we started paying that about I would say about 2 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. About 2 years ago.
So that's it.
But then the good news is the interest is
going down now. So
we can now go back to rework the whole thing and come to a more reasonable state.
Yes.
Yeah. So I would say the mortgage currently is about $3,000.
Okay. So for rents, there's something called property tax when it has to do with mortgage, like when you buy a house. Well, the difference is that when you're renting, you don't pay property tax. Especially, you don't pay property tax. So property tax, I have zero amounts for renting. Okay. So how much do we pay for property tax?
So the property tax has also, changed from year to year, and what determines what you pay for your property tax is the worth of your house, because the value of your house change is expected to appreciate from year to year. So currently our property tax sits at about $360 a month. If you want to do that annually, I have friends that pay annually. I'm not at that. I think it would be about 4,300 plus annually. But we pay 360.
Homeowners property tax about 360, and then for renters no property tax. And then we have insurance, right? So when we were renting, we paid insurance. Our insurance then was $45 as renters. So what is our insurance now?
So our current insurance, that also has changed, and it's just the thing about Canada and I think in the developed country. Now every bit of economic shift affect some of these, how do I put it now?
Investment.
Yeah, investment, especially the constant bills. It affects it. Our insurance when we started was about $170. And last year, towards the end of last year, I noticed that we had paid $210 for about 2 months, and I was wondering, well, what could be this? Because we've not made any claim on this house as touching insurance. That's another thing that changed the cost of your insurance. When you start making claims, it changes what you pay. So I called them, and they said that it has nothing to do with our house. It has to do with the province. What is the problem with the province? Wildfire. Cause of the wildfire, cause of hail damage in Calgary and all that. So insurance company just have a way of taking care of those losses, those things they had to pay back to people, to their clients. So we all have to suffer that. And according to them, they said it means that we are prone to those risks. And because of that, they had to jack it up a bit. Another thing they said was the cost of building, that the cost of building materials have gone up and all that. So I told them I'm not building a new house. They said, well, the essence of insurance is if something goes bad, they can take care of it. So currently we are paying $204
for house insurance.
Yeah, property insurance.
So yeah, property insurance. So for the renters, for renting, we were not paying any
we were paying insurance for renting.
Oh yes, sorry, we were paying insurance, which was $45 about that.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about utilities. I mean, like hydro and sewage. For renting, it was part of our rent. We're not paying anything for that, right?
Yeah.
It was part of the $1,250.
Yeah.
What are we paying now for utilities?
So for hydro and sewage, it's about $185. And I would say that's because our basement is also active.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it increases the bill a bit.
Okay.
Yeah, but ideally, I would just say 185.
Yeah, that works. And then we all and the renting we're paying for electricity and energy. We're paying 80,000 Canadian dollars.
$80,000? $80.
Sorry, we're paying.
We're just paying for electricity.
Sorry, guys. So we're
not paying for gas.
So we're not paying for gas.
Heating
and we're just paying for electricity.
Part of the rent.
Okay, it was $80, guys.
Yeah,
sorry about that.
That was the highest pay.
Yes, and then for us now, how much are we paying for electricity and energy?
For electricity and that, I think it's about $310 because we are off winter. But in winter it goes up because
it does.
You have to heat up the house and so you consume more gas. In winter it can be as high as $360. Yeah, and I think we are that low. I would say we are low because we got our rate locked for about 5 years. People that were on the current rates pay much more than that. So we locked our rate since 2021, and so we are still enjoying.
Electricity as renters $80, electricity as homeowners about 300
because now it's electricity and gas.
Oh, electricity and gas.
Yeah, as a renter, we're not paying for that.
Okay, it's about 300 and what again?
About 310 currently.
Currently, okay.
But in winter, it goes as high as 350, 360.
Okay, so for renting, for internet, we were paying 55 Canadian dollars.
Yeah.
For internet, cable, security for home as homeowners, how much are we paying?
It's about 169 because now the internet, in all fairness, is still $55.
Yeah. But as homeowners, we added.
Well, now you
security,
have cable.
Yeah.
We have 3 cables.
Yeah.
Basement, upstairs, the main floor. We have security. You pay for the equipment. You pay for. They charge us monthly, so it all comes to about 169, 170.
Okay. So we decided to add car insurance because, of course, it's part of the whole bill, right? When we're renting, we had a car that we bought, when we landed Canada, and the car insurance we were paying for that was 86 Canadian dollars. Now we have, do we say we have two cars now, right?
Yeah, we have
the car we had before and
yeah.
our new car.
So I would say currently, and the new car, because it's now both of us on all the cars.
Mm-hmm.
When it was the other car, it was just me, and I've accrued years of driving both foreign and locally, so that affects your rate of insurance.
Mm-hmm.
But because my wife has now joined me on the insurance, it kind of increased things a bit. So
Yeah.
I think currently we're around $234.
Okay.
Yeah.
So car insurance as homeowners, $234.
Yeah.
Okay. So we excluded
That's for
groceries.
two cars though.
For two cars
Yeah.
now. So we excluded grocery because we're not really talking about the whole cost of
And some
living.
people may decide not to eat. So you know,
we decide not to eat. I know it varies family by family. See how much you spend on groceries. I'm going to do a different video on that. I'm going to do like a grocery haul on that so that you guys have an idea how much we spend on groceries. But we excluded it from this because we wanted to just, base our figures on renting and home ownership, right? So we're going to do that in another video. We also excluded entertainment, health insurance, because we're just going to do all of that as a different video. So total, do you want to know the total amount as a homeowner?
There's another one.
Okay, let me see something.
Yeah, insurance.
Life insurance.
Yeah, so for the life insurance, it's a kind of substitute for the property ownership insurance.
Oh.
We had that with the bank at the onset, and we were paying $280 monthly for the property ownership insurance. And what was that covering? It was just covering the cost of the house. The essence of that is, God forbid, if one of us is demised, the other person can just have the house paid off and you still live your normal life and all that. So what we did was to check that cost against the cost of, if we were going for a life insurance, let's say we want to add the cost of the house to our pre-existing life insurance, which we had before, what will be the difference? And we found out that we were saving about $80 by just adding the cost, what we pay of the house, to what we had before. And so that brought the life insurance to about $70 or so.
Okay.
Yeah, but that again is not like a compulsory.
It's not compulsory.
It's not.
Yeah.
I know quite a number of people that don't have life insurance yet. It is advisable. I know from Africa we don't believe that one can die, but people die around us, and we see what families go through when such mishap happens. So it's advisable to protect yourself as much as possible. Let it be that they are missing you, not that you've left a lot of situations that now make the morning worse, right? So if that happens, God forbid, I say again, let's leave some things to cushion the family so that they have the comfort, right? So that's how come that's that.
So we're paying for $460 here. So the total amount for rent, when we were renting, that this total cost of our spendings at the time is, drum roll, is $1,766.
$1,800.
Yes, so 1,800 in average, right? For home ownership costs, we have a total of $5,014 on monthly basis. That is excluding groceries, health insurance, and some other things. So just for the house, we have a total of $5,014 Canadian dollars. So what I did was to subtract the total that we have for as homeowners from our total as renters. And then when I subtracted that, it gave me a total amount of $3,248. So we are spending extra $3,248 as homeowners, and that's basically it. It's just to give you a picture of how much more you would be spending as homeowners versus renters.
Yeah, right? At least in the first 5 years. Yeah, it's because the mortgage start going down over time. Yeah.
Yes.
But you may not really notice the difference until you get to your 10th, 15th year. But the first 5 years is usually very tough. This is not to scare anybody. It's still a blessing to own your own property, and it comes with more bills, more responsibilities. And one thing I've learned is necessity is the mother of invention. You just find out that you will find a way around it.
Yeah.
For some people, they have to do more hours at work. For some people, get a better job. That could even be the reason why you take that certification training.
Seriously.
Or you go back to school or whatever.
Or
You will just, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid. Go for it.
Yes.
But like we said before I hand over to Izine, please don't go beyond your capacity.
Yes.
There is no competition here. Nobody pays you for having a big house.
At all.
Just pay for what you can afford so that at least you can be sleeping at home. Because we also have people that, because of the mortgage, they can't even sleep in the house they bought, so we don't want that for you.
Yes,
and
please,
if there is
pressure.
someone going through that phase now, I just hope and I pray to just be a phase. Very soon things will normalize and everybody will be fine.
Yeah.
But it's a blessing to own a home.
It is a blessing, guys. And this is just to give you guys an idea of how much our cost of living basically as homeowners, and of course when we're renting, and just give you that picture before you decide. No pressure, just like my husband said, please don't pressure yourself. Buy what you can afford. Now the housing market is booming in some provinces.
It's booming in favor of buyer or seller.
It's booming in favor of sellers right now.
Yeah, so
it's booming in favor of sellers right now. So it's more expensive than when we even
like this house now. If you want to buy it now, you'll be paying like 100,000 or 150 more.
More.
Yeah, and that's within 3 years. It's crazy.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah. So you just go for what you can afford, especially if you're a first-time home buyer. Yeah. Go for what you can afford. If you're not ready to own a home, don't pressure yourself.
Enjoy yourself.
Enjoy your rent, because you can see the difference, right? Pay your rent, eat well, enjoy.
And sleep well.
Yes, thank you so much, guys, for sticking with us to the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching, and we just want to say we love you. Please, if you haven't subscribed, hit on that subscribe button, like the video, and of course ask us questions in the comment section. We'll be willing to answer. All right, thank you so much for watching one more time, and see you all in our next video. Say bye, baby.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
We love you.